Tonight, the Premier declares a state of emergency as wildfires continue to rage across the province. Candle Lake is moving forward with a fire break to help protect the area. And a Saskatoon student has won a national award for his high-tech Braille communication device.
This is CBC Saskatchewan News.
It is Thursday, May 29th, and the CBC Saskatchewan News starts right now. I'm Ethan Williams. Thank you for joining us. The province has declared a state of emergency as wildfires burn throughout Saskatchewan. We'll get to the latest on that in just a moment, but first, a look at the provincial fire situation. As of Thursday afternoon, there were 17 active fires, 7 of which are not contained. The Shoe Fire has now grown to more than 300,000 hectares. That's roughly 13 times the size of the city of Saskatoon. The Club Fire near Creighton is raging on both sides of the Saskatchewan-Manitoba border and has burned 25,000 hectares. And a new fire of concern is now the Ditch Fire. It is burning along Highway 2 near Weyakwen, south of La Ronge. That prompted an emergency alert late Wednesday, which called for the evacuation of the northern hamlet. Alexander Silberman has the latest now on what's happening.
Premier Scott Moe is calling the wildfire situation extremely serious, declaring a province-wide state of emergency and promising more resources for communities in the north. We heard an update from Moe and the province's top wildfire officials at this base for the Saskatchewan Public Safety Agency, warning conditions are tough for crews.
Just looking ahead to the weather forecast, it doesn't look good. It looks like it is going to further deteriorate. There's no rain in the forecast.
Hot and dry conditions in the north are allowing fires to spread quickly and threaten highways for people who are evacuating. Moe says he's declaring a state of emergency to show the gravity of the situation and the potential need for more resources in the coming days. He says this shows the federal government and residents how serious the fires are and will prepare Saskatchewan for decisions that need to be made. Moe says one measure could be a ban on ATVs to stop human-caused fires.
We are also considering as a province to look at a UTV, ATV restriction, as some of these human-caused fires are indeed caused by those vehicles. And at this point, we would prefer that people are not out in the forest in these extremely dry hazard conditions.
Moe says the state of emergency will also help open up more resources for evacuees, like setting up shelters and evacuation centers. We also know that more help to fight the fires is on the way from other jurisdictions.
Currently, we have external supports, both coming and on ground. Currently, we have aircraft from Quebec and Alaska. We have ground resources from Nova Scotia and PEI that are committed to be attending here very quickly.
We also heard from firefighting officials that these aggressive wildfires are threatening roadways, including Highway 2 to La Ronge. They say the province desperately needs rain, but at this point, there's no sign of relief in the forecast. Alexander Silberman, CBC News, Prince Albert.
And Moe and SPSA officials say a request to Ottawa to help out has not been made yet, but it still could come. The SPSA says Saskatchewan does not require the military aircraft that's being used to assist evacuees in Manitoba, but the feds say they're ready if the call comes.
I would like to express the government's heartfelt support for the people and the communities that are affected by wildfires across the country. We're aware and monitoring closely the situation in those provinces as well. There's issues in Saskatchewan in addition, and we don't have requests for support from those provinces yet, but as I say, we're monitoring, and when those requests come in, we'll certainly deal with them.
And the Canadian Interagency Forest Fire Centre now tells CBC that the call has gone out for international help to fight the fires. It comes as the centre says almost all Canadian firefighters are occupied, and the national preparedness level is now at a level 5 out of 5. And as we've heard, the weather is posing a major challenge for firefighters. Weather specialist Helena Mahalik joins us now. Helena, it seems things have been very dry.
It's been a hot and dry day, week, and also a hot and dry month with very little rain throughout the province. Let's take a look at some of our moisture levels. This is rainfall from the crop report for the month of May. And as we can see here, west central Saskatchewan and most of central Saskatchewan got less than 25 millimeters of rain. Southwestern parts of the province also got very little. It's really only the southeastern corner of the province that got enough rainfall there. There was a 1 week in the middle of May where they got a significant amount of rainfall, which has really done some damage for our fires. We're seeing here that it continues to be a very serious issue throughout most of the province, which has caused numerous fire bans to be in effect. There are currently 149 active fire bans in the province, many of which are in the north, obviously, as well as central Saskatchewan, Ethan. So please make sure to check out where those fire bans are before heading out.
All right, Helena, thanks very much.
Thanks, Ethan.
And meanwhile, the SPSA says 15 separate evacuations have taken place across the province as of Thursday afternoon. Some have been able to get to safety, but others are finding it challenging to get out because of road closures.
The community of Sandy Bay is boxed in because that fire is right on the road leading out of Pelican Arrows to Sandy Bay. So that's closed. And then we have a road, even if you were to get through there to try and head south, you would go to, on the road going through Pelican Arrows, Highway 135, goes to Highway 106, which is the Hanson Lake Road, and that's the main road up and down northeast Saskatchewan. And that would lead to Creighton, Flin Flon, and into the Paw, Manitoba. You know, that is closed.
We drove by Wiyako, that's where the big fire was, so we were like by the flames on the highway, so that was pretty scary. I don't know how many, like maybe almost 2 kilometers long, like right beside us. So when we got into PA, we heard the next day the roads were closed right there. So that's when I said we made it on time.
Over in Candle Lake, crews are building a last resort fire break to protect property from wildfires. Earlier this week, the SPSA denied the village's request to create one. But on Wednesday, village officials got word that crews could start working on it. The fire break will run from the east side of Candle Lake toward Aspen Ridge, south of the village. Locals hope the fire doesn't get that close. As of Thursday morning, it was around 20 kilometers away from Candle Lake.
I don't want to have to declare a state of emergency because the bottom line is we'd like to stay in our community. You know, we've got 2,500 homes up here. We've got lots of businesses up here. And, you know, the assets up here are tremendous. You know, when you combine us with Paddockwood, which is our neighbor right beside us, we're probably looking at $1 billion worth of assets up here. You know, and in my opinion, it's worth spending some of those tax dollars on helping protect the community.
Arnold says his big concern right now is if the wind shifts the direction of the fire. The village has issued a voluntary evacuation notice for residents. And wildfires are also threatening parts of eastern Canada. In Labrador, emergency crews continue to fight an out-of-control wildfire near the town of Churchill Falls. Phone lines are down, and the town has also issued a boil water alert. Authorities say the fire is currently moving east. That's away from the town and facilities, including the hydro plant. Crews and water bombers have been deployed to push back the flames. A fire ban is now in place for Happy Valley Goose Bay. The cities of Regina and Moose Jaw are asking residents to voluntarily restrict their water usage. The Buffalo Pound Water Treatment Plant, which provides treated drinking water to both cities, is experiencing an issue, and that is restricting the amount of water available to people living in Regina and Moose Jaw.
So the Buffalo Pound Water Treatment Plant has challenges meeting our demands right now. We have our water wells working. The amount that they can provide is not consistent, so it's going up and down depending on their processes and as they work through different challenges.
City of Regina crews were even following their own rules Thursday, turning off the water to the fountain outside of City Hall. Doney says people can conserve water by doing the same, not watering their lawns, filling ponds, pools, or hot tubs, and skipping car washes. You can also take quick showers and only run dishwashers and washing machines when they are full. The city says it is possible the order could become mandatory if residents don't curb water use. The issue at the water treatment plant is expected to be fixed by the end of this weekend. Well, a look outside at Regina. Smoke from the fires has not really made its way down south yet, but we are seeing a bit of a hazy sky in some locations. That may change on the next coming days here. Helena has details on what we can expect, including if we are going to get any rain in her full forecast after the... The Crown has rested its case at the trial of 5 former World Junior Hockey players charged with sexual assault. And one of the accused has now taken the stand in his own defense. Ali Chiasson has more from the courthouse in London, Ontario.
Carter Hart is asked about his encounter with the complainant. His lawyer, Megan Savard, quote, "Did you go to room 209 that night?" Hart, "Yes." "Did you see her there?" "Yes." "Did you have sexual contact with her?" "Yes." "Was it consensual?" "Yes." Unlike Michael McLeod and Alex Formanton, there isn't a recorded statement of police interviewing Carter Hart after the alleged incident in 2018. So this is the only time we are going to hear his side of the story in his own words. And like the other hockey players we have heard from, he says EM was initiating sex. Quote, "I was single. I was open to take her up on one of her offers." Remember, it's the early hours of June 19th, 2018, inside Michael McLeod's hotel room, where several of his World Junior Hockey teammates are as well. EM, he testified, is naked in the room. He says he received oral sex, but only for about a minute because, quote, "I didn't want to do it anymore. It was a weird thing." He also said he remembers Alex Formanton and EM holding hands, walking to the bathroom to have sex, and seeing Cal Foote do the splits over EM's torso area. EM alleges it was across her face and without her consent. We spoke with Alison Craig. She's a criminal defense attorney. She's not affiliated with this case, but she has been following it closely. We asked her about when defense attorneys call their own clients to testify.
I think the pros vastly outweigh the cons, assuming you've properly prepared your client to testify. When the accused testifies, there's additional routes to acquittal. There's 3 different things a judge has to ask themselves. 1, if I believe the accused, obviously I have to acquit. But 2, and often much more importantly, even if I don't believe everything the accused testified to, if it leaves me with a lingering doubt, then I still have to acquit.
There's no word yet if any of the other accused will be called to testify. The Crown begins their cross-examination tomorrow. Ali Chiasson, CBC News, London, Ontario.
Weather specialist Helena Mahalik is back for an update with us now. And Helena, not really seeing a lot of that smoke in the southern half of the province, but we know where those fires are burning in the north, there's a lot of smoke there.
Yes, Ethan, we're seeing tons of smoke in the north and even areas of the northern grain belt around Prince Albert. Let's take a look at where that smoke is and some of the advisories in place because of it. Air quality warnings where the smoke and the fires are at its worst are in effect for, and have been for many days, for the La Ronge, Pelican Narrows, Hudson Bay, South End areas. But air quality statements due to the smoke coming in are in effect for areas like Melfort, Prince Albert, and Meadow Lake. We are seeing that the smoke will continue spreading throughout the next few days, especially concentrated still in the La Ronge area, but there is a chance that it could spread down into the south as well. We are seeing that as well. Thursday evening, not much relief in the province at this moment. We're looking at a pretty clear and dry Thursday evening. And temperatures really didn't help with those fires Thursday. As we look to the north, temperatures even exceeding 30 degrees in areas like Buffalo Narrows and La Ronge, where those fires are at its peak, and even central Saskatchewan. Temperatures at 32 degrees. West central Saskatchewan has had a heat warning in effect for several days due to the intensity of this heat. Temperatures just slightly lower in southern Saskatchewan, just below that 30-degree mark there. But Thursday, we definitely saw temperatures get quite high. And Friday, we will see a little bit of a dip. Temperatures returning back to around seasonal for this time of year. Still warm, but not this intense heat that we've been seeing. However, it won't last long. As we get into Saturday, temperatures will return closer to that 30-degree temperatures. Same thing Sunday, although there is a chance of some rainfall, so temperatures could lower a little bit, but it's still going to be a very hot weekend overall in the province. Thursday evening, we are seeing some winds in the province, up to 40 to 50 kilometers an hour winds, especially in western, central, and southern Saskatchewan, and up to 30 kilometers an hour in the north there, where those fires are. Friday afternoon, we are seeing up to 50 kilometers an hour wind gusts in central Saskatchewan. The north continues to see a bit of a breeze. Saturday, though, overnight, we will see up to 40 kilometers an hour in the southeast around La Ronge. And then Saturday evening, still breezy, so we'll see, a very breezy next few days. Friday, there is a chance of rainfall in the province, about a 30% chance, which is definitely needed as these fires go on. And Ethan, we're seeing a chance of rain in the Stony Rapids and Buffalo Narrows area where those fires are at its worst.
Yeah, we sure know that we definitely need it. Helena, thank you very much.
Thanks, Ethan.
A group that wants a sovereignty referendum in Saskatchewan will not be holding meetings in Legion halls. Unified Grassroots hosted a town hall meeting in Saskatoon on Sunday. It had planned to host 8 more in Legion halls across various cities, but those events have been canceled. The president and founder of Unified Grassroots says she was told by the halls that the meetings were canceled. One person told her the decision came from Saskatchewan Command, while another said it came from the Dominion or National Command, but she says she has not heard from either.
They won't return my calls. They have my phone number. They never once reached out to us to even see what it was about.
The provincial executive director of the Legion's Saskatchewan Command says the Legion will not entertain an event that encourages or promotes separation. Ness has said separation is on the table, but it's only one of several possible outcomes of her group's efforts. It's a bittersweet day for the Capital Jewish Museum in Washington. The museum has reopened to the public. Just a week ago, 2 Israeli embassy workers were murdered after leaving an event there.
Today's reopening is not simply a return to normal. It is an act of resilience. It is a declaration that we will not allow hate to silence our voices or diminish our commitment to building a better future.
Yaron Lashinsky and Sarah Milgram were shot and killed as they left an event hosted by the American Jewish Committee. The alleged gunman, Elias Rodriguez, has been charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. A U.S. federal appeals court has temporarily reinstated Donald Trump's global tariffs after a judgment from the U.S. Court of International Trade blocked many of the tariffs Trump imposed since taking office. They'll now remain in place until a White House appeal is decided. Earlier, Prime Minister Mark Carney said he welcomed the decision to block the tariffs, but said it's not enough.
We recognize that our trading relationship with the United States is still profoundly and adversely threatened and affected by similarly unjustified 232 tariffs against steel, aluminum, and the auto sector.
The trade court ruling blocked the 25% tariffs imposed on Canada, China, and Mexico. The White House attributed those to the flow of drugs and illegal immigrants into the U.S. The court was not asked to address tariffs imposed on some specific goods like cars, steel, and aluminum, which fall under a different law. Those still remain. Well, the long-running British competition where participants hurl themselves down a 180-meter hill, all while trying to catch a 4-kilogram cheese wheel, took place this week. Sounds totally normal, right? The race is notorious for its high risk of injury, broken limbs and concussions, just to name a few. The first to cross the finish line at the bottom is the one who wins the cheese. The first written evidence of the event dates back to 1826. Stay with us. We'll be back after the break. A high school student from Saskatoon has received national recognition for a device he hopes can help deaf-blind people communicate. Jody Gokaraju's device is called Touch Talk, and it's a Braille-based communication system. He's now received a 2025 Ingenious Award and the $100,000 Lawrence Scholar Prize for his work. Touch Talk has a manufacturing cost of just $100, something Gokaraju says is uncommon in devices for deaf-blind people.
The most common technologies right now cost about $5,000. And if you think about how a lot of deaf-blind people aren't in first world countries, having that low cost is really important. So right now we have those results, and now we're going to work on turning this into something that's like you can buy online, and hopefully the cost will go down. And with the improvements I'm making, I think we can get it to be even faster and more efficient.
Touch Talk receives and sends phrases between a computer app and the device. A message is entered by talking or typing, and motors then move the display, which creates Braille letters for the user to read. He is currently working on bringing the device to market. Helene is back with one last look at the forecast, and fingers crossed for some rain.
Yes, Ethan, we're really hoping for rain. The Regina area isn't really going to get that, though. Let's take a look at what Regina has in store. It's going to be really sunny this week, and temperatures this weekend are still going to be hot, just below the 30-degree mark, and very breezy as well. We'll see overnight lows in the teens on Saturday, but they will stabilize as the week goes on. Getting into the work week, temperatures are going to return back to closer to seasonal for this time of year, as we see some rain Tuesday, temperatures even dipping below 20 degrees, and overnight lows will also be closer to seasonal. Saskatoon, though, will be seeing some rain in the next few days. Friday, a chance of rain about 30%, but temperatures still staying quite hot over the weekend, and overnight lows in the teens. As we get into the work week, though, and the chance of rain is still there, we will see temperatures back to around seasonal for this time of year, hovering just in the low 20s, and overnight lows will be closer to seasonal as well, just below the 10-degree mark, Ethan.
All right, thanks so much, Helena.
Thanks, Ethan.
And that is it for us. For the latest on the fires and, of course, all of our news anytime, you can always head to cbc.ca/sask. If you're low on power or data on your device, you can check out cbc.ca/lite, L-I-T-E, for the latest. Thanks so much for watching.